Hey there, it's Lynn with a Trixie update. And today's March the 8th, 2015, and I've had the car now for right about 2 months. As I stated when I got the car, I'm not in a huge rush to get this build complete. I know that it's going to take a lot of time and a fair amount of money, and so I'm not in a huge rush. If I'm lucky, I may be able to get it together and get it to the point where it runs, sometime by the end of the summer. And I don't know if things work out for me. Looking at this schedule right here, maybe possibly I can get it going by the fall enduro. I don't know. We'll see. That's October 10th and 11th. So working on that, and well, the last couple of weeks has been a little bit busy just with other stuff around the house. The weather's been really nice, so we've been working on getting the garden ready to go. Been moving around a lot of gravel and dirt, and built those planters right there. So that's been taking up some of the time, but got back into looking at the forums this past week, and I found a couple of really well documented builds that are on the RX-7 forum. One of them is a drift car, which I'm not going to do a drift car, of course, but it was an '83 RX-7 drift car, and man, the guy that is doing that, he's in Wisconsin, and he just has done a really phenomenal job with that car, and especially being very careful to document everything with pictures, and maybe he's got videos of his own, I don't know, but he did a really great job cleaning out the interior of the car, and the dash that he did was really classy. I liked it a lot. On the inside of the car, he's got it all cleaned out and painted white, and it's really sanitary looking. So that inspired me to go looking around for to try and figure out a way to get this soundproofing insulation that they glue down to the floor pan of the car, how to get it out. And what I found is that you can use dry ice to do that with. So I went down and got some dry ice. I got 10 pounds of dry ice, and basically you crush it up and you spread it out around in one area or so. I worked in these little sections of the floor pan that made most sense, 2 by 2, 2 by 3 up in this area right here. You crush the ice up and then you spread it out, and then you leave it sit for a few minutes, and it starts basically it freezes that soundproofing, and it pops it right up off the floor, so it just comes off in these big chunks. And I was pretty impressed with the way it worked. Not quite as well as the videos that I watched, but it never ever is. So I've got a little bit more to do. I'm not quite sure how to deal with the glue around the seams, the body seams. You can see them, kind of up there by that shock mount, and then kind of around the perimeter there. One of the videos I saw showed the dry ice being mixed with rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, and it makes it more of a kind of a slurry, so it tends to stick a little bit better to these vertical surfaces. I got to give credit to them little fellers that built these cars. They really had that stuff stuck down pretty well, but I'm not going to let that get me down, because I'm going to get this thing cleaned out, and I'm going to get it nice and shiny inside. I'm going to paint it. I think I'm going to paint it white. I believe that the car color I'm going to go for is probably a white and red combination. Don't really know how that's going to work, but maybe my good friend Pete Chadwell from Dynamic Arts in Bend, Oregon might be able to help me design something. Who knows? So that's one project. I was able to get out about 14 or 15 pounds of this insulation off the floor. We filled up a bucket and a half, a 5-gallon bucket and a half of that, and so I got a little bit more to do. Maybe get another 5-6 pounds out of it, and then we'll move on. So the next thing that I was able to get done, it's got this decent fiberglass hood much better than anything that I could probably ever do, at least at this point. But the hood has got these clips on it that hold it down. When I got the car, the clips on this side of the car, on the passenger side of the car, were bent up and they were really kind of out of whack, and the hood wouldn't sit down on these. So it took me a little bit of work, but I got these clips out. I had to actually grind the bolts out because they were rusted and stripped. So got all those out, took them over to Tom Chadwell's house and used his vise because I don't have a vise yet, at least not one that I can talk about on this video. But I don't have a vise, and so I took it over to Tom's house and straightened them out and got them all rebent the way they were supposed to be, and now it fits down much nicer there. So yeah, that's the other thing that I did. And then lastly, for this update, show you this steering wheel here. I'll get a little bit better picture of it. Boy, that seat's seen some better days right there. It's not going back in the car. So I may use this seat if I can get it covered and build a little wood bracket for it. I may use that for my PS3 setup, which I got over here, and right now using a leather office chair, which is a bit excessive, but it's pretty fun, by the way. So this steering wheel's got some history with me. I've had it for about 25 years now, I think, and I got it to use on my 510, and I was never able to get a hub adapter for it. Kind of gave up on it. It just moved with me everywhere I've gone. And so this steering wheel has 6 bolts that mount it to the steering hub adapter, and the one that was in here also had 6 bolts, and they were real close to matching up, but just not quite close enough. So I took that hub off, kind of turned it a little bit, and re-drilled all those holes, and then I tapped it and mounted it, and wow, it looks pretty sweet. I'm pretty excited about that. Can't wait to get my hands around this thing and go use it. Not sure if this is the final version of that steering column. Has a lot to do with how the dash gets put together, but anyway, so I'm excited to be able to use that steering wheel that I've been carrying around with me. Over here in a box, speaking of carrying things around with me, in this box here I've got a pillar safety 5-point harness set up. I did actually have that installed on the 510, but I was wise enough to take it out before I stupidly sold the car. So I've carried that around with me also for 25 years in hopes that I would get to use it again, and well, here we are. I'm going to get to use that again. So I guess that's the update for us today. Next thing that I probably will do is get the rest of the soundproofing out. I'll work to get the interior cleaned up, and with any luck, maybe the next time you see the interior here, we'll have some paint in there, or at least be ready to paint. You know, and then I still have to work on these front brakes here too. Got to get the rotors there. By the way, it's been a long time since I've been in the game here with the car stuff, and I know that I have a tendency to kind of ramble through these things, and once in a while I'll call something the wrong thing. I remember on the last video saying on the wheel right there. Of course, that's not the wheel, it's the brake rotor. But you know, if you hear stuff like that, be gentle on me. Just be gentle. That's all I ask. It'll take me a little bit to get my bearings straight again once I, you know, really start getting into these parts and learning what they're actually called. There's a ton of suspension stuff under here that I've never even dealt with before. And I can't wait to figure out what the names of all that stuff is so I can sound like a pro when I'm talking about it. But anyway, that's the update, and we will do more later. Have a great day. Bye.